Hello YouTube and welcome to a new toy review. This time let's take a look at Autobot Mega Pretender Crossblade. The gimmick of the Pretender Transformers is that the smaller robot is able to hide in the human looking or monster looking shell. The Mega Pretenders added a new feature to this in which the shell itself is able to transform too, and more, the little robot can not only just fit inside the shell but also be part of the shell and combine with it when it transforms. I think it's quite a cool concept and I think it's really interesting. Now, as the Pretender figures are becoming more and more sophisticated, the figures are becoming more and more small. This little fella here is actually Crossblades, so that's only his Pretender shell. So let's take a look at the robot mode first. So as you can see, Crossblades is quite a small robot. He comes with two guns, but I don't think he's bad looking at all. I sort of really like his image. He has a kind of retro vibe that I can't really explain. Maybe it's just the color scheme that's a little bit 80s, but I think he's a cool looking robot. On the back, not much details, but the front is decent looking, I think. For a size comparison, here he is next to Landmine, and I think this helps understand what I was talking about when I said that these figures are becoming smaller and smaller. He's basically half the size of Landmine, who was an earlier version of the Pretender figures. And here he is next to the Autobot Classic Pretender Bumblebee. As you can see, he's not much smaller than Bumblebee, a little bit maybe. And here's Starscream for comparison. As far as transformation is concerned, he's supposed to turn into a dragster, and to transform him you have to put his legs together like this and turn this back thingy up so it covers the face, and have his arms folded up like this. And now you take this little wing part that you can store on the back of Crossblades Pretender shell and put it here, I think. So that is supposed to be his dragster mode. I don't really know about it. I think it really is just a lame excuse for a transformation. I sort of like the fact that this part here with the stickers looks like a cockpit, but then this whole thing rather looks like a spaceship to me than a dragster, and a rather huge spaceship, if that is the cockpit, which is kind of hard to wrap my mind around when we are talking about such a small figure, really. So either way, it's not really working that well. Also, I kind of like it better if this wing part is put on the upper part, and then you can only do this with the hands down, but then you get sort of something like this, which also looks like a spaceship, but I think it looks like a better looking spaceship for me. Well, anyway, you're not really buying this figure for the little robot's transformation, that's for sure. So let's check out the big guy. I have to tell you guys that this Pretender shell is really one of my favorites. I think it looks very cool. On the back you can sort of see the cockpit of the helicopter that it transforms into, and it kind of sort of reminds me of a turtle. It looks really like a turtle's shell, but I think it looks very cool from the front. He looks like some kind of futuristic soldier, and maybe in a sense it reminds me of the Starship Troopers or something. I don't know, but I think he looks cool and I really like it. He comes with this gun that, as you may have guessed, will double as the back part of the helicopter, and you can also see the helicopter blades on it. It has a... well, it's kind of short, but I like the fact that it's sitting on his shoulder, sort of kind of like a sniper rifle. So even though the rifle looks really short, but I think it still looks sort of cool, so I'm okay with it. He has parts of the landing gear attached to his arms, and I think according to the instructions they are supposed to be shields, but yeah, I think that's also just sort of a lame excuse for him really to have an accessory. And this figure is quite an accessory heavy figure, so I don't really recommend you to pick this figure up without the accessories, because they are a pain to hunt down on eBay, and you will probably pay more than you really should for them individually. So if you like this figure, I recommend you to try to pick one up with all the accessories. And what are these accessories? So these two landing gears that you will need for the transformation. Also these two little thrusters. Well, they are not that important, but yeah, so if you want one complete, you will need these two. Also, you will need these two little identical guns that are the small guns for the small robot mode, and in this mode they really just attach here on the back. Again, if they are not there, I don't think they are missed, but if you're going for a complete figure, you will definitely need these two. And of course the big gun and the blades, which can be removed from the big guns, so that means that they can be lost too. If you remove all that, that's what you are left with. Articulation wise, the arms rotate. You can also close down the helmet like this, which looks a little silly, but I would really like it if they included some sticker detailing for the helmet in this part, in this area. That way it would look like it's a visor, kind of, and I think that would make it look cool, but this way it's just not that good looking. I like the fact that the helmet is shaped like this. This kind of sort of reminds me of the anime style helmets that you see in all of those sci-fi animes like Appleseed and stuff like that. I think it looks cool. I think the face sculpt is nice, and you get a lot of nicely sculpted details on his uniform, and not too many stickers. You have stickers on his shoulders and upper arms, but other than that it's not really a sticker heavy figure. Now he's wearing these military looking boots, which is the bane of his existence, in a sense that they will be very, very visible in after transformations. So if you transform this guy, you will basically get a chopper with military boots. But anyway, let's transform him. You have to kind of break his legs like this. Put the arms down straight and turn down the helmet. After that you open this part up and you're halfway done. Now take the gun, open the blades and put it in this little hole. All you need now is the landing gears, one on each side. And these little thrusters, they come right here. Maybe cover a little bit of the dangling feet, but yeah, not too much. So this is really your chopper mode. And again, you might say that it is also a sorry excuse for a transformation, but I don't think it's that bad. You have to try hard not to look at the boots on the back. If you look at the other Mega Pretenders, I think he's one of the better looking ones. I don't have the other ones and I'm not even planning to pick them up. Now I mentioned that in this mode the little robot is able to combine with his shell, and that happens the following way. You have to open the shell and turn the head inside. Now this part sort of freaks me out every time I do it, because the head only turns this much, and after that I really have to force it to turn more, and I always feel like I'm going to break it, so I'm trying to be very careful here. But you can actually turn it all the way inside and then close the shell, and now you don't have a front part for your helicopter, but this is where the dragster comes in and attaches through this black connector piece like this. And then you get this sort of a long helicopter mode, which can be a futuristic helicopter with some kind of weapon hanging in front of it, I guess. It's an interesting concept. I'm definitely not saying that this is one of my best Transformers, but it's interesting. You can take the little guns now and put them here, and this way you have every accessory on him, just to make sure you don't lose anything. Just another look at the whole picture. I think one simple little thing could help it significantly and increase the play factor, and that's if this blade was able to spin. Don't get me wrong, you can spin it if you want. You can sort of spin them individually, but you can't just flip it and make it spin. It doesn't work that way, unfortunately. And what I'm talking about really is the way you can make it spin, for example, here on Springer. I think that gives it a tremendous fun factor and makes a sort of mediocre looking helicopter mode into lots of fun, and not just for kids. I mean, even me as an adult collector, I like to fiddle around with it and just spin it because it's fun. But unfortunately this one even misses this little factor that could help it. That's unfortunate, really. As with all Pretenders, the small robot can fit inside the shell. You just have to open it up like this, take the little fella, close the arms like that, and turn the feet up to the back of the leg like this. Then you take him and slide him down like that. And I have to admit, this is not easy, but you have to fiddle with it until he fits, and the front part goes all the way in, and that's the point where you can close the shell. So it's kind of tricky, but you have to put him in this position, facing inside and with his black visor thingy to the front. That's basically the only position that he fits. So do I recommend this guy or not? Well, he's definitely a unique figure. There were only 3 Mega Pretenders, him, Vroom and Thunderwing, and in that sense they are sort of, I don't know, kind of rare. They are definitely hard to find with all their accessories, and that means that they demand high prices, and I'm pretty sure as figures they are not worth as much as they are going for. But with that said, I think this one is one of the best looking Pretender shells, definitely. I think he's very, very cool looking, even though you have to keep in mind that he is a little bit shorter than the regular size Pretender shells, as you can see, although it's not that big of a difference, but he is still shorter. The transformation is kind of unique and fun, but you definitely need to use your imagination with it. And well, if you can find this figure for a decent price, and if you like Pretenders, I think you will have a lot of fun with this, but it's not something I would have hunted down to have in my collection at all costs. I guess I could say I was lucky. I could pick this one up with a decent price, but I think this is one of those figures that only the hardcore fans will go for, really, because he has his flaws, but I think he also has his good points. So thank you for watching my review, and stay tuned for more. See you next time. Bye bye.